morning, everybody. It is 8:27 a.m. Apologize for the delay. Had some mic issues. Good morning. Let's get into it, right? Let's go look at the watch list right now. We got Bitcoin's up 2.13%. The VIX is up 1%. The dollar is up 0.52%. We have the 10-year yield is pretty much flat, but down 0.21, but it's rised up to 3.75. Dow's down 0.36, the NQ's down 0.39, the ES is down 0.42, Russell down 0.71, crude down 0.92%. What else here? Any leaders and laggards, right? We got coins up 2.66% pre-market. Tesla's up 2.18%. Okay. And to speak of any of the bottom three laggards, Amazon down 0.73%. Nvidia down 0.8%, and Baba's down 1.22%. As for the top sector stocks, we have, holy mackerel, am I seeing that right? Roblox is up 15.48%. Let's see here. Earnings. Estimated earnings was 0.55. Actual 0.48. That's a miss. Obviously, there's more to this. Like it says, revenue grew by 2% year over year. Reported fourth quarter bookings growth of 17% year over year. Okay. Their average daily users were up 19%. Okay. Wow. That's quite a jump. Let's go back to some laggards. We have Exxon and Chevron. Sectors, this is probably going to be no surprise, no particular big leader. Laggards, financials, semis, and energy. All right, let's get into yesterday, the daily chart. Okay. Current year VPOC. Well, core retail sales just popped. So let's see what those were. And New York Empire State Manufacturing. Let's see. So retail sales up 3%. Forecasted 1.8. That's very interesting. New York Empire State Manufacturing, they thought it would be minus 18. It's minus 5.8. Core retail sales 0.8. I don't think that news dropped yet. Let's refresh. Wow. All right. Let's see what this is. This is kind of whipped the market down. I mean, when I mean whipped, it's not continuing to go down, and it has a wick. Now, I'll put up the chart. And I'll show you guys what that did. So this just whipped all the way down here and made a wick. So got some volatility from that. Alright, so core retail sales now forecasted for 0.8. It rose 2.3. Hmm. Okay. Let's go to the daily, and I'll come back to this. When we look at the charts, we'll come back to it. All right. Looks like we got Rosita in the house here. Um, let's look at this chart, right? So we obviously have a downtrend line here. And was violated yesterday, but then came back underneath of it, right? So that remains. I have this on another chart, that's why I'm going to remove it. Okay. But there's a couple key factors here. This market is crazy because that CPI number came out and the market went up, it went down. Then when we opened, it went up, it went down. Basically, a lot of Fed speak, a lot of hawkish Fed speak. I think there was one that was dovish that said like they don't see a recession. It was just like craziness yesterday, right? And we can see here that we're kind of just in this range, and we're in this range really. You can see it very clearly. Okay, and you can see just on SPY, most traded price of the month is right here, right? So we need to figure out where we're going here. Okay, if I look at my marker to show you guys, so if you look at this profile for the last 30 days, it's very bullish because you have a bullish imbalance here. And basically all that means is usually, a completed profile, you're going to see excess at the top. So as long as we stay above here, we should make a move higher. How high, I'm not sure. But that's just how the profile works, right? I usually guys talk to you about this in market profile, but this is the same concept here. Okay, let's look at the Qs. So Qs have a downtrend line. Popped its head above it yesterday. Okay, Qs right now trading at 305.43, so it's about right here. Okay, another one in a range. Here we go, same kind of thing. Most traded price of the month. Another bullish imbalance in the profile. That just means that the balance is skewed to the upside. And anytime you see this, people can call it a bull flag too. Okay, in profile I can see it very quickly. I don't have to look at a pattern. I just look at the shape of the profile and go, all right, you hold above here, we're going to go higher, right? If we fall, then it's a toothpick holding up the elephant again, really, right? But we're in a state right now where the market doesn't know what it wants to do. Okay, we're in a state of the market does not know what it wants to do. So let's look at that triple-headed monster. Okay, this is something you have to pay attention to. The 10-year yield is rising. Okay, it's not down here. We're in a big range, broke out of it. Now we could possibly move up to 3.9. This doesn't bode well for equities. Okay, the VIX yesterday we were able to get over 20, couldn't sustain it, dropped all the way back down to 18, and currently at 18.99, right? We need to get over this 22 level at least to get over the 20 level to start making some pushes lower. So that's kind of like in disagreement a little bit with the 10-year yield. And the dollar today could break out, okay, in this range at this 103.90. If it breaks out, probably looking at 106.46, 105. Okay, that obviously is going to mean the euro is being sold, so that's inverse. That's the largest basket of the Dixie. There it is. Euros starting to go down, and the euro obviously inverse of the dollar. Look at that support. If we break it, probably go down to this swing low here of 1.05. So that's how you look at that. And real quickly, we can look at the Dow. Dow's in a big range. Oof. The Dow is just a choppy mess. And finally, let's just look at the Russell. Russell made highs up here. Okay, in a downtrend. So now let's go over to that market profile. I'm going to hit you with the watch list real quick. Let's go over because we got some important levels to talk about. One of the trades I took yesterday, I talked about in the morning. It was a nice little scalp. What I'm realizing, particularly with my trades. Oh, give me a second here. What the hell? Give me a sec. Something's going on with my chart for some reason. Very interesting. Alright, give me 1 second. Apologize for that. I'm going to keep you on this watch list for 1 second. Okay. Let's look at this now. Here's the ES. Okay. Now, what do I always talk about? I talk about the most traded price of the week, most traded price of the month, right? Until I'm blue in the face. All right. Let's look at this. These levels are very, very important, and the 24-hour and the RTH are in agreement right now. Okay. These levels are just huge. Most traded price of the week, 41.45. Most traded price of the month, 41.25. Okay. These levels are the tipping point for this market. We're in extreme balance right now. Picture the coiling spring that I talk about usually when these levels are pretty much close together and they're equal to each other. This is the fight that I'm talking about. Because normally, okay, when the market's going to make a decision, it doesn't whip up past these levels, hold it, whip back down, whip back up. That's what's telling me after the open in a little bit, and I did that opening scalp. I took another trade, and what I was telling you before about my trades to just not veer off, but just real quick, is I'm noticing I'll get really nice excursion, take a piece off, and then I'm like looking for big follow through, and then my next one gets stopped out, and I'm like, man, I just had like 10, 12 points there, and it gets taken back because it is volatility. So I'm gonna have to start really maybe just looking at taking the whole thing off when I get like 10, 11 points, because it's just, this market's so volatile. So that's enough of that. So I'm back to what I was saying, right? So we have our composite value for the last rolling week here, right? And it's kind of like a double distribution here. So that's one distribution here, another distribution here, okay? Now, like I said, we need to be below these levels in hold. And holding is, you really want to see it like probably break this demand zone and hold down here. And then it could give us the ability to move this down here, and then we could take the next move lower. Conversely, hold up here, probably take us higher. Okay. So what do we have? In the ES, you got a high of yesterday. We have a low yesterday. Okay. Now this low went right into demand zone and ripped out of it twice. So if I can split out the session, you'll be able to see that. Actually, 3 times. Came in, pumped out. Came into the demand zone again, pipped out. Came down one more time, whipped out, right? You can see that. So, let's make this a little wider here. And now where are we at, right? Here's the overnight session. This is where you can't make this stuff up, right? Where did this come to? The overnight. Right to the most traded price of the week. Where's price now? Right at the most traded price of the month. Now this is ping pong. We can either do this, we could do this, until we pick a side. And the market doesn't know yet. We just don't know. Here's monthly VWAP right here too. Look at that, right in the middle of these two levels at 41.33 monthly VWAP. Okay. So what are we looking at? This is a whole lot of not being able to tell what the hell the market's going to do, because you got yesterday's range and this is the overnight range inside yesterday's range. Okay. That is very, very hard place to be. There's going to be a lot of chop, because the significance of these levels is the most traded trades have happened over the last week in the month here in this area. Okay, you could even pick a stock and you would see that, like an Apple or something. You would see the same thing. Okay, that's why these work so much, is because this is the ES, right, which is comprised of 500 stocks. So it's going to make sense that most of the stocks are going to also look like this. Okay, not all, but this doesn't tell us much. You got a nice balanced profile overnight, which does not tell you much. Not a lot to take from it. It's a very hard market to read right now. Okay, very hard. I say the Nasdaq probably has a little better of levels to go off of, but you can see here this low is weak now in the ES. You got a low here, you got a low here. If we revisit this demand zone again and we break it, could see some farther down movement, right? And again, everything's premised on whether we accept value above these levels or below these levels. Of course, you could always just trade from the edges, but we are queued for a breakout. We can stay into this balance range for for a long time. This could happen. Just means the move is going to be bigger. I don't know when the move happens, but you have to see, like I said, acceptance outside of them to see a breakout. Otherwise, we're going to keep trading from the outside in. So let's go first what a bearish move would look like. You have to break this demand zone. these lows. Okay, no question about it. If to break it, come back, retest, see if the market's weak to get that push down. Okay, to this demand zone. That's around 40.65. Okay, that's what you need to see. Now, as far as a bullish, okay, we need to push above the 5-day, hold it, hold it. You got to hold this. You can't, holding it a good a good hour, maybe more, until we can start to push to possibly break out. Okay. Now, you always have door number 3, which is balance, and that could just mean you we stay in this range, right, until we break out. So what does that look like? So you would then, they call, fade the edges. Your trades are from the outside in. Okay, so if we do happen to move higher, close to yesterday's high, pop above it, and then you see weakness come back in, well, we're going to go back. We're going to go back into the range. Okay, that's fading the edges. Conversely, same thing with, if we come down here to these lows, maybe even tip out of this demand zone, but then we find and we start making lower highs, we're going to start moving back into the range. But that's all based on how the market is. Yesterday Apple and Microsoft weren't as strong, right? While some others were strong, Tesla. Okay, so really have to see. Wow, Roblox is up 17.49% right now. So that's what I'm looking for. Okay, now let's look at the NASDAQ. Now, the NASDAQ, this is the RTH only. And you can see the profile's pretty nice looking. Pretty bell curvy. Okay, hence why you have the most traded price of the month in the week right there. Okay, and what I wanted to show everybody is why this NASDAQ's a little chart that's been respecting levels, meaning that this supply zone right here has been very resistant, as well as this demand zone has been supportive. That's where we're ping-ponging in the NASDAQ. Okay, so now that I showed you that, let's see where we're at now. Okay, now you can see in this chart, because it's the overnight and it's the real-time trading hours, that this supply zone started here, right? This is where it was formed. We came in here, sold off. Came in here yesterday, sold off. It's been a pretty good supply zone. This demand zone was created here, and we popped into it yesterday and popped right out of it. So those are the edges for the NASDAQ. That's why I said it's a little prettier, because you have these zones that are being honored right now. It's in this range. Okay, same thing though. This big price here is the most traded price of the week, the year, the current year, 2023, the week and the month. And the big move's gonna happen. Okay, so basically in here we know that you want to get the nice breakout. You want to break out of this supply zone. You want to get a move that pushes up, holds it, And then you do have another supply zone above, so that might not, you know, it's a little bit like, oof, you're going to get some tough sledding probably up here. You have a naked VPOC here. So that's what you want to see, right? And conversely, if we go underneath these levels, if you can push through these levels, well, we want to see it come down, test this demand zone, right? And poof, and come back a little, and then you're going to go short. Still have the single prints left over from FOMC. Maybe we take those out. Okay. Now, I'm seeing something here like I did yesterday. And that gave me that scalp off the open, which is very nice in the ES. Okay. This is what I'm seeing. Very nice levels here. So what I'm noticing right now is the one thing here is everyone has been short 100%. Hence why this price is probably crushing shorts right now. Just to show you guys, we opened here, we closed here, and all was down movement all the way down to the low. Well, now all those shorts have been squeezed or took profit, and the price is all the way up at the top of the overnight session, right? But very key, very, very, very key here is this level, because check this out. The most traded price of this year and this week and this month in the NASDAQ happens to be the lows of the overnight. Okay. And now this is even more, right? Fuel for this fire for probably maybe a nice little scalp. Okay. I'm going to explain this. And this is all psychological. Okay. So I'm going to explain how I'm going to look at a short here. So we already know this area is the tipping zone for the NASDAQ. Okay. 125.50. Okay, but now we have a nice overnight low that's right here. We know we have the most traded price of the month, the week, and this year here. Okay, but the key to this is this. We're going to have fuel for this move lower because everyone now is long from the low overnight. So you got overnight longs that now have bought it and the price is up here. Okay. Now, everybody who bought stock yesterday closed up here, right? So you're in a pretty good position if you were in a long position in the stock market and we closed at the highs. Okay. However, so think of that. You might be like, you know what? If psychologically, they might want to take some profit if they're even in profit because we're below the close, right? But let's just say they want to go, you know what? I want to take my loss. I'll take a small loss or a small profit depending on what stock you're in, right? And if we come down, and this is where the trade is going to work out, okay? Even if we pop up quick, go into the supply zone, we start coming down. And let's say we come through let's say this is the open, right? And we come through this open. Well, guess what? First thing I'm noticing here is the most traded price of yesterday. You break that, you're going to go at least to this area. Take a profit. Now, if you keep getting volume, well, guess who you're hurting now? You're hurting the overnight longs and you're hurting the majority of participants who traded here in the last month and the last week. And we're going to go. And I don't know how far we go. We could possibly stop here at the 9 daily EMA, but it's going to be a nice move. Okay? It will be a nice move because you're just going to hurt the longs. The longs from the overnight, the longs that were from yesterday, and you're just going to take them out. I don't that and then this move is not a sustainable move. It could be, but you're looking for that quick hurt pain. You're looking to go up, oh everybody, and then go whoop and start, taking some profit here, and then if it, hold a runner, maybe we move down here. But I'm just saying that is a very, I really like that. Okay, this is no different from what I talked about earlier. You're long, you want to be above this, hold it, really work in this push up and maybe to go long. Okay, short, I just gave you my short off the open, but if you don't want to do that, then if we start to build down below this level, see what we do here. If we pop, come up weak, you could short for a breakout to lower, right? And then of course, like I said, it could do this today, come up here, try and come back into range. That's the fade the edge trade, right? Could come down here in this demand zone, try to break it, come back up, and we're going back into range. That's the outside in trade, right? That's going to keep us in balance. So that's how you have to look at it, right? But I see that looks really good to me to get these underwater. The key, and like I said, the key to that short off the open, the key to it is you want to suck. You want to suck some longs. So you want the market to push up first. It could just do it off the open, but I would rather have the market go up, even tip here. Okay. The real key is the most traded price of yesterday. Okay. But if you could use the open, let's say we opened here, you push above the open, come through the open, you can short here with your stop at the high. First target would be yesterday's most traded price, and then if we keep falling, take another one here. If we keep falling, take another one here, hold a runner to here. I don't say that fully happens, but this is the really, below here you can get a nice move if you wait. If you just wait, you don't have to do that open. You could wait for here to break, and you just really have to see what all the stocks are doing. Okay, that's gonna be it for me. You guys have a good weekend. Not a good weekend, I'm sorry. Have a good day trading. Give me a comment, like, or subscribe. Stay green, and I'll maybe do a short today, do some updates. All right, have a good day.